we will go as far as we believe we can go. I believe that. There's a great saying I love is that what you believe is more powerful than what you can prove. You see that all the time in our country. And I think how far we can go is in direct relation to what we believe we can accomplish. How we see ourselves. If we see ourselves as incapable, we will be incapable. If we see ourselves as capable, then we can accomplish anything. Now here's the key. The key is once you set what the North Star is, now be obsessed with improvement, right? We talked about the players yesterday. Be obsessed with mastery. We're on a lifetime long journey to master our craft, to master who we are as people. So that gets us obsessed with improvement. So now we have the North Star out there, but now all we're trying to do is just plus one ourselves. If I can be plus one of what I was yesterday, plus one on what I was a year ago, those are the steps that get you to where you want to get to. Even using this past year as an example, there was nothing we could do on the first play of the first game of the season to finish number one in the country in total defense, right? It was a journey. It was a series of practices, workouts, meetings, down after down, quarters into games, right? And at the end, someone said, you did this better than anybody else. But it was a journey to get there. We couldn't think about the end. We had to think about all the steps along the way to get there.
Thank you. Hello, Coach. Royal Howell, Carolina Blitz. Coach, I want to touch on how do you reassure the players that stuck around through the grind, the hustle, the fans, the administration, that Duke is just not a stepstone program, that you're here for the long haul to build and sustain a culture that's already been breathed here?
Well, I think it's a lot of the conversations that Nina and I, President Price and I had, in terms of committing to each other, and what is the vision? I mean, what is it that we're trying to accomplish here? And once you hear the stated goals towards the last question, that we don't see any reason why we can't be elite. I mean, and I keep getting back to it. If you're elite in something, you can be elite in anything. And if you're not, then it is a choice to settle for being second best. And so to me, I don't think our young men deserve that. But it ultimately is what they believe behind you. We've got to get the locker room to ignite that belief in what it means to be Duke, and the idea is that we can see it going much further. And I do think what I've learned in the 24 hours I've been here, just speaking to some people outside the program, I think people are stirred up. I think people now are energized and realizing that Duke is not about one man. And we appreciate everybody's efforts, but this is a collective event, and people are now ready to step forward. And again, the word that's got me so fired up and excited is galvanized. When I hear people talk about being galvanized, they recognize the time is right. We have the right people, and it's time to go. And that's why I stand here as a servant of everybody that's in touch with Duke football, right? To get everybody on the same page, because this ain't just like, hey, watch the head coach do it. No, this is all of us doing it together.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah.
Connor O'Neill with Devils Illustrated. Manny, I think you had about 5 months when NIL was implemented as a head coach. I'm curious how you've seen that change over the last 2 years, and how much of your evaluation process in going to the right place enters into the calculation of why you're here now.
Yeah, well, NIL is like most things. It's like, we set out to sea and then we decide to build the boat, right? It has changed. It's going to continue to change. Market dynamics are going to continue to weigh on it. I mean, obviously there was a story that came out this week. I mean, I don't know if you talk about what it was like 2 years ago. I don't know that anybody can predict exactly what it'll be like 2 years from now. I do know it helps our game. I do know it helps our young men. And I do know that we need to be competitive in it, and I do know that we've got people who are excited about that and excited about that opportunity. But like I said, it's just a new normal. So to your point about what it was like 2 years ago or when I was a head coach, I mean, it was in the infancy then, and it is still evolving. So we've got to stay agile. We got to stay flexible because every 6 months it feels like it zigs and zags. So you got to try to stay in touch with it.
Thanks.
We have time for